Due to its unsurpassed uniqueness and one-of-a-kind abilities, the cello plays a critical role in the music world. People usually tend to think that it shares all the similarities and serves the same purposes as every other musical instrument. On the contrary, the cello applies much more importance and uniqueness than the average music listener, who, quite honestly, would never bother to learn anything about the cello, would unfortunately never know of. There are countless reasons as to why the cello is considered so special and so unique. 3 out of those countless reasons have been chosen to more easily explain this complex instrument, those 3 being the history of the cello, its physical structure, and its roles in making the music of centuries ago, all the way up to that of today. The first known maker of the cello went by the name of Andrea Amati of the 16th century, who was stationed in a small workshop with his large family of other luthiers in Cremona, Italy. Amati desired to make an instrument with a particular sound that none of the other instruments could fathom. Thus, the cello was born. The cello's actual name, violoncello, means little violone in Italian, the violone having 6 strings, while the cello has 4. The violone is also the largest and deepest sounding instrument of the viol family, which happens to be the cousin to the cello's violin family. When the cello was first introduced to the world, the first makers stressed very much about what was going to make it up. In other words, its physical structure. Over 70 pieces make up the cello. All pieces of the first cellos were comprised of wood and the strings of catgut. Today, the cello is still mainly made of wood. However, the strings are made of steel with a nylon core, and all other components can either be made out of metals or plastic. The bow of the cello is almost as equally as important as the main instrument itself. It consists of a long wooden stick connected to a straight lock of horsehair alongside it. It is believed that the Arabs introduced the bow to Europe in the 9th century. Once the cello is finished being built with all of its many complexities, it is now time for it to enter the musical world. During the 18th century, when most of the focus in the music world was put on the orchestral instruments, the cello usually only assisted ensembles with the background and rhythm parts of the pieces they were playing. This, however, does not mean that the cello is a nuisance instrument that is constantly being shoved into the back of an orchestra. For the cellist's role in the orchestra is a true honor. When it holds such a position, the orchestra becomes whole and will not fall apart. During the Baroque era, Antonio Vivaldi, one of the most beloved composers during that time, almost always preferred the cello as an accompaniment. Even when it had the main melody, another cello still backed it up. Also, due to the cello's size and the combination of bow being played on string, its frequency range is the closest to that of the human voice. No other instrument can ever come close enough to be compared to the cello. How it was brought into this world, its complex anatomy, and its musical role prove its splendor. The violoncello possesses unparalleled uniqueness.